Most men buried wearing a suit were not suit wearers when they were alive. Most men buried in a coffin were not sleeping in coffins when they were alive. Future archaeologists' suits were worn every day in the 20th and 21st centuries, even by retirees. I only remember seeing my dad in a suit a handful of times in my life. He was buried in his favorite pair of sweatpants. My 106-year-old Grandma Euro-American was buried in a kimono. She had it hanging by her bed for 15 years. She would tell us it will be the first time she ever wears one at her funeral. IDK. You ever notice how really old men start wearing suits? At some point they must figure out that they might as well get some use out of that burial suit while they are still alive. Grandpa lived in his bibs and was buried in his bibs. Even had a cool flower arrangement in a welding helmet. It just would have been wrong otherwise. I hope to be cremated. But if buried in a coffin, I must be presented in garish floral shorts bulging with a flatteringly large taxidermied boner and a Megadeth t-shirt. That's what makes it so special, and why they're buried in one. My father actually had set aside a nice set of work clothes to be buried in. As he had retired, we buried him in jeans and one of his shirts with the sleeves rolled up. Most men were wearing a robe and slippers for a while when it was their turn. Well, I guess no one has asked them post-mortem for the dressing code. I've never thought about this. But I hope I'm cremated. Screw being buried and eaten by worms wearing something comfy, not some unpleasant suit. There's a weird Levi's commercial right now about how many people are buried in 501s. Most men buried wearing suits typically wore suits to funerals. I think the non-wearing suit men who were buried alive don't mind. But it would be interesting to see someone buried wearing a t-shirt or something. I would only be buried in a suit if my people hated me. I will not wear a tie for any reason. My wedding, funerals, other people's weddings, etc. A few funerals ago, my dad made a comment about me not having a tie. I told him that I'd sooner wear a dress than a tie. Which would he rather me wear?